The spinal cord, along with the brain, makes up the central nervous system, which is responsible for controlling both voluntary and involuntary functions. While the brain is the command center of the body, the spinal cord is the critical conduit of the special messages. The spinal cord is a column of nerve tissue that extends from the base of the skull down through the center of the back, ending near the lower back. Protected by vertebrae or backbones, it runs through the spinal canal, a bony tunnel within the vertebral column. The vertebrae are the individual bones that form the vertebral column, providing crucial support for the spinal cord. Each vertebra encases the spinal cord, forming a bony shield around the delicate nerve tissue. The spinal cord runs through a central canal within the vertebrae, known as vertebral foramen, and is cushioned by the surrounding meninges and cerebrospinal fluid. Three thin layers of protective tissue known as meninges surround the spinal cord. These are dura mater, the outermost tough protective layer, arachnoid mater, the middle web-like layer, and pia mater, the innermost layer that closely adheres to the spinal cord. These three layers are further cushioned by cerebrospinal fluid, which acts as a buffer protecting the spinal cord from the shocks and supplying it with essential nutrients. The spinal cord is like a superhighway for nerve signals. It carries two types of signals. Motor signals. These are outgoing messages from the brain to the muscles and organs, enabling actions like moving limbs or regulating organs. Sensory signals, which are incoming messages from the body's sensory receptors, like skin, eyes, and ears, to the brain, providing information like temperature, pain, and pressure. Reflex action and reflex arc. A reflex action is an autonomic rapid response to stimulus that doesn't require conscious thought. It's the body's way of quickly protecting itself from the harm. For example, when you accidentally touch something hot, your hand immediately pulls away before you even realize what happened. This is because the response bypasses the brain, occurring through a pathway known as reflex arc. The reflex arc involves several components: sensory receptors, sensory neurons, interneurons, motor neurons, and effectors. When a stimulus such as heat is detected by sensory receptors in the skin, sensory neurons send the signal to the spinal cord, where the interneurons relay the information directly to the motor neurons. These motor neurons then send the signal to the muscles and glands, or effectors, to initiate a quick response like pulling your hand away. The process happens without involving the brain, allowing for faster reactions to potential dangers. Spinal cord injuries. One of the most serious medical conditions affecting the spinal cord is spinal cord injury. When the spinal cord is damaged, it can severely disrupt the communication between brain and the body, leading to the partial or complete loss of movement and sensation. Depending on the location and severity of the injury, two major types of paralysis can occur: paraplegia and quadriplegia. Paraplegia. Paraplegia refers to the loss of the movement and sensation in the lower half of the body. It typically occurs when the injury affects the spinal cord in the thoracic, lumbar, or sacral regions. Individuals with the paraplegia may lose the ability to move their legs, but their arms and upper body remains functional. Quadriplegia is more severe form of paralysis that results from the injuries to cervical regions of spinal cord. This condition leads to the loss of sensation and motor control in all four limbs. The spinal cord is an integral part of central nervous system, acting as central communication pathway between brain and the body. It's vital for voluntary movements, sensory perception, and reflex responses, while also regulating critical autonomic functions.